Well, I just want to share with you this morning that I'm a little phlegmy, don't quite know what that's all about, but will do my best to communicate through all of that. I think some of it is actually, just keeping up with feelings that are wanting to be experienced and expressed. And it's a big time for all of us right now. It was occurring to me that every day now, as you brush your teeth, I brush my teeth at least twice a day, and I floss. I have these, I have these habits that are this is just what I do. And what I'm inviting us all to do now is to add our 2 minutes of fear melters every day. Because we've been pickled in fear for so many years now that I think, people are now, there was an article that I saw that someone had was talking about the 4 kinds of stress. And I went, wait a minute, you're talking about fear. But so, but it was reminding me of when Maharishi, who taught TM, when he first came to the States, he presented the meditation as a way to create every moment of your day being about bliss. And nobody came. And so he went back to India and he reconsidered the whole thing. And he came back and he said, life is stress, but if you meditate, it will lessen the stress. So it seems like humans are not ready for bliss yet. Keep going back to stress. So, my experience is that, I can feel the ways in which I'm more like I'm surrounded by fear, and I can feel a little like I respond a little bit more fragmented to things. I'm a little bit more, and so I go, we used to say your nerves are frayed, but but that's just another way of saying, I'm reacting. And so rather than trying to push through, I want us all now to add in fear melters and, on a regular basis, just throughout the day. And you go, oh, I'm okay now, I don't really need it. But by the time you need it, it's almost too late. Because you're already reacting rather than being able to respond. And we're being called on to respond in real time now in ways that make a difference both for us and for our friends and for our neighbors and for the people who are around us. And my experience also is that as I'm doing fear melters, just as I'm talking to you, I'd like you to combine listening with fear melters. So for me, I like to do oozing first because fight is almost always, I think you'll find that it's either fight or freeze that you're doing in response to all of the stuff that's coming at you. So either oozing or wiggling, find the one that's your easiest entryway into the fear melters. So for me, it's because I'm a wiggler, and one of the things I love about Gay is that he loves that I wiggle my toes. And I just almost always, I'm wiggling my feet or wiggling my toes. So wiggling is my entry point. But I want you to now combine the fear melters with looping your awareness. So loop out, and then you might notice that someone looks a little frozen. So you can add your wiggle into sending your loop out. So you can send out a wiggly oop, and then you can bring an oozy loop back to you and noticing where that wants to land. And then a root. So my toes that are wiggling now, I can feel them spreading out because I realize that I actually have been gripping. There's like, I'm afraid I'm going to fall off the earth. There's so much going on right now that my toes are going, okay, we'll grip, we'll get it. So spreading out my toes. And as I'm doing that, I can feel the exhale. I can feel my attention. I can feel the streaming through my body rather than clumping. So clumping and gripping as compared to oozing and flowing. So I want to have you, oh, and then of course love scoops, because I think what we do when we're reacting is that we contract in. So imagine if you let your attention go out around you and noticing all of the beauty that you see and feel, and then love scooping that into you. So you're letting your attention go out and really connecting with what nourishes you, and then bringing that in. Because sometimes the touch, how you can feel connection with yourself, feeling the warmth of your touch. So the practice that I want you to add this week is fear melters with looping. And it doesn't have to be big. So let yourself loop out and then just do a little wiggle, like I'm sending a little wiggle out to the tree that's by the street that had one of its limbs cut off last week. So I'm saying a little wiggle and celebrating that most of the tree is still here. And then back to you. What kind of energy do you want a rooting or an oozing or a wiggling or a scooping? Just, you might want, instead of just a little wiggle, you might want a whole truckload of love on you. So you might want to just really, dump truck love on you. Oh, and then letting your body respond to that. Because you can go into a freeze on receiving. So what's coming at you may just feel like too much, so you need to make some space for it in you. Because very often, people who care about you, they'll want to give to you, but if you're in reactivity, you can't receive it. So the fear melters are also to allow you to receive. Especially to allow you to receive. So combining, peeking out, because I basically this last week have been wanting to just be in bed with the covers over my head. So you can let yourself peek out and go, oh yeah, and then back in again. So you can let yourself honor the overwhelm. But my experience is that just 2 minutes, and there's now research about this, that you really actually can change your state in 2 minutes. But 2 minutes is a lot longer than you would think. And I think we shortcut our 2 minutes. So as you're practicing this, I invite you to actually set a timer for yourself. But like, I have a timer on my toothbrush now. So my toothbrush is 2 minutes. And that's a long time. I can go around my mouth lots of times in 2 minutes. So you could brush your teeth and do fear melters. So you can be adding in ways that you can experience what actually is 2 minutes. So that you're giving yourself the chance to actually shift and not catching yourself midway and then going back into fear. Because my sense is that we're tipping over into maximum chaos right now. And my sense is that, my conviction and my intention is that we move through this into rebuilding. But right now, I was thinking about the buildings in the casinos in Las Vegas. When they want to build a new one, they blow up an old one, and they do an implosion thing, and everybody can watch it. It's sort of a big deal, but that's a very neat implosion. This is not going to be neat and tidy, and so I think our obligation, putting your mask on first, our obligation to ourselves is to be resourcing presence. So for me, the opposite of fear is not rah-rah. The opposite of fear is presence. And when I'm in presence, my being expands and ripples and is able to reach others and is able to connect and to give and receive the nourishment of true attention, of presence. So we're talking about the loop of awareness, but it's really the loop of presence. And then when we're able to presence, we can deeply connect and we can experience the possibility of play. Because the other thing that's going on right now is it's fucking serious out there. It is just so like, oh, so the whole possibility of playing through. I have experiences, where I've seen that people were able to meet threat with play and actually change the whole dynamic. So for you to have access to, how could I play through this? How could I, instead of working on this or heroing people or feeling like the victim or getting mad at everybody for being such idiots, how could I play through this? And for me, that's a really valuable question that I come to many, many times a day. But if I'm asking it from my fear state, it's kind of useless. So our health habits, I'd like fear melters to be part of your daily health habits. I know, because even no matter what is going on, I floss my teeth. So, and I actually am a public flosser. I floss in restaurants, and I let people know at the end of a meeting. I know it's outrageous. So I make sure that I'm not sharing my meal with others through my flossing. But I invite others to floss. I hand my floss around. I have toothpicks and stuff. So I'd like our fear melters to have that same kind of, oh, here I have something, instead of a condiment, have a fear melter. So the whole sense of this is something that we all need as a daily supplement. So just think of the things that you have as a habit now. I really want to have you add in fear melters. I also really want those of you who are activists now, those of you who are going out, those of you who are sharing with neighbors, share fear melters. So I've been doing my best to get them out, to share with other people that, can you imagine these gatherings, like the gatherings in Minneapolis, if everybody was doing fear melters? I have a film that I actually will share, on social media. When I was in China some years ago, I taught everybody how to do fear melters. And we had the song, She Drives Me Crazy, the Fine Young Cannibals. She Drives Me Crazy. We were doing fear melters. There were about 150 of us in the room, and we were doing fear melters to She Drives Me Crazy. So we would do fight, 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 and then ooze, 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 ooze. So finding ways that you can share these with others, I think, is just such a wonderful gift, because then we're not meeting reactivity with reactivity. We're meeting with the possibility of presence and play. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And it turns out that our card for today fits perfectly with what I was considering wanting to do today. So I'd love to bring the card up now.
I'm attempting to. It's eluding me at the moment. Give me 1 sec. It's hiding.
Well, yeah, let's just have a little bit more fear melters while we're waiting for this to come up.
Yeah. Decided it's not wanting to show. This is very funny. Wow.
Well, here, I'm going to just put mine up here.
You do that while
Okay, let's see. We're going to... I can move me back. Let's see. Here, yeah, I can. I don't know if you can see this. Well, I'm going to bring it up close. And then I'll back it up. And, and I've got my hands over the feet. There's some wonderful feet here sort of resting on the edge of the cosmos. So what I would love to invite you to do is to let yourself look into the card, and then coming back to you, and combining your fear melters also, so having a little wiggling or a little oozing or a little rooting or love scooping. I create openness to learning in and from all my experiences and collaborations. Whew! I create openness to learning in and from all of my experiences and collaborations. And then the question's a great one. The question is, by what means can I shift readily and easily from blame to wonder? Oh, there it is. Okay, great. So you can see it a little more clearly up here. So I create openness to learning in and from all my experiences, not just the ones I like or the ones who are easy, from all my experiences and collaborations. And by what means can I shift readily and easily from blame to wonder? So this is from the responsibility part of the deck, and healthy responsibility. And for me, healthy responsibility is I'm reclaiming my creativity, because when I am in fear, I cannot create. I can only react. I'm in my reactive brain, not in my creative brain. And so when I shift from blame to wonder, and having experiences every day that generate the felt experience of wonder, I think is probably one of the central evolutionary moves that we can make in our lives. So rather than moving from blame to shame, or from blame to accountability, we're going to have, that still has blame in it, by the way, but moving from blame to wonder, I wonder, that moves me into actually being able to reclaim my creativity. And I think of healthy responsibility is that I'm choosing. See, when I'm not in my creative brain, I'm actually not choosing. I'm just reacting. And I'm reacting in the ways that I learned how to react to protect myself. So when I take healthy responsibility, instead of doing that same thing that I do of feeling like a victim and then lashing out, I have whole new choices that are open to me. And I really feel that we are creating our new world choice by choice. And if I'm able to wonder, see, I love the feet up in this, because I can see the person reclining out into the cosmos. So I love the whole idea. I have my feet on the edge of the cosmos, and I feel perfectly safe in all of this space. And when we contract into protection, we don't experience much space. And we think, oh, I can keep myself safe because I'm making myself littler. But when I make myself littler, let's come on back to the big group, because I have something important I want to say about that. When I make myself smaller, I'm actually diminishing my power to step into, to interact, to say, I'm choosing to connect rather than to blame. I'm choosing to love rather than to hate. And that comes from expansion, not from protection. So this is how this all interfaces with the fear melters. And I would just say, when in doubt, if I can't remember if I flossed my teeth, I just do it again. If you have any doubt, fear melters, because they can't hurt you. And I've actually been in places where I'm kind of doing my fear melters, and then I can see people around me are contaged by that. So it's like, somebody starts a little beat and suddenly you notice that other people are following that beat. You can be that person who is starting the beat that other people just feel like, oh, I don't know why, but I just can feel just this kind of more of a little cha-cha in my body, rather than, I've got to slink along and hide. So take a moment to go into your favorite hiding in public stance. So I know it's going to be related to one of the fears. So do you get more, do you sort of get more fighty and kind of stick your chin out as you're moving around? Or do you get more frozen, like you're just, waiting for something bad to go? Or are you always are you in flee mode, like so nobody can kind of get you because you're just kind of, or are you just faint? And I think that a huge number of people have gone into big faint. So if you're contracted, you're not as able to radiate and to ripple. But when you expand out into presence, especially by using their fear melters, other people will get it. You don't have to proselytize. You don't have to say, hey, stop doing that and do fear melters now, because you're doing them. Yeah, and I've noticed that even a tiny little shift is going to make a difference. So I may not move all the way, or the people around me may have just a little opening, but that little opening is what we call a trim tab move. It makes a difference over time that is actually more gentle than, let's blow up everything and then have to start from scratch. So these little moves that we're making, they're really kind of water moves, because they'll keep moving. You'll keep moving. You'll be experiencing flow, and over time, nothing can resist the flow of water. Water, and since we are 80 to 90% water, and the planet is 90% water, we think it's mostly land, but it's mostly water. The fear melters allow us to enjoy flow while presencing in the world. So our Presence Connect play today is also totally in alignment. See, I love this, because this all just happens on Monday mornings, where we kind of go, what are we going to do? And I love how they're always perfect, because I'm tuning into you, Michelle and I are tuning into you, and we and so when the Presence Connect play comes up, it's always perfect. So presence is fear melters. So for me, the quickest way to come into presence is through fear melters. And so here, I want you to do just some little mini melters, so that you can do them in a meeting. You can do fear melters in your car when you're driving. So wiggling your toes, feeling your feet, rooting down through your sits bones, little tiny wiggles, wiggling your jaw. Moving your face is one of the best ways to let the rest of your body know it's safe. So taking like little wiggling, face flapping was one of my favorites. If you have forgotten about face flapping, it's a wonderful way to wiggle your way into presence. And because we carry so much of our fear and tension in our face. So face flapping is letting your face come forward and then letting your, and it's helpful to make the sound too, because you can make wiggling sounds. And I love the face flapping. For those of us of a certain age, we can do it super well. But for those of you whose faces are still pretty much attached to you, you might need to do a little bit more flapping. So go ahead and see if you can make some new sounds through your mouth. So I was getting some really good ones this morning. And then what I notice is a out breath. I feel more space. I feel more connected to the ground. I feel the out breath rather than of the fear in breath. So, and I feel warmth. So notice if I felt some streaming warmth. So I know that I'm getting more circulation. So the big thing that fear does is really stop your circulation, so that you can't feel yourself as well. All of your functions don't work as well. Your blood and your digestion and your ability to move in a way that's creative. So connect is really valuable. Turn toward. So a whole lot of what's going on now is I think I don't want to turn toward this. And our ability to turn toward what is happening, that's on our card also. The intention to be open to learning. So even right now, there's a sense of, what can I learn? What can I learn from what's going on right now? And then letting that be a wonder question rather than I should know that right now. Because we don't know yet what we're supposed to learn. We're in a very evolutionary time, revolutionary and evolutionary. but floating out that, what could I learn from this? And I'm willing to learn whatever I need to learn from what's going on right now that I can open to by turning toward. So for me also in the last week, it's been turning toward what's going on in my own inner self that has been excavated coming up. I got so mad last Thursday. I haven't been that mad in a really long time, maybe if ever. I was furious. And so turning toward that fury rather than going, calm down, stop it, was really, what can I learn from this? And what I'm learning, I'm now starting to do Instagram, and I'm intending to make my first Instagram today about contempt. So what I've learned is that I can shift my own state and then share what I've learned from that with others who are interested. When I turn toward, that's an act of connecting. So if there's a lot going on and I'm going like this, I'm not connecting with me and I'm not connecting with others as well. So the whole act of turning toward, to me, also reminds me of FACT. That would be a great tool for right now, because, facing is very challenging right now. Because, Nicole faced, I'm not mad at you, dude, and got killed for that. So I think the message to all of us is hunker, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep turning toward what can I learn from this, and then how, with my fear melters and my ability to love what's going on, what actions can I take that come from love and presence. That's kind of a big job. So back to fear melters, back to I have no idea what to do. And then taking that one action that makes a difference for me, that can make a difference for others. One of those that I'm just thinking of right now, play, is take the posture of the old, here we are, play. Take the posture of the old story. So what's your old story about what's going on right now? Could be nothing's ever going to change. They're bigger than I am. Everything is just totally fucked up. Take on the posture and then notice. So for me, it's really a kind of a collapse and a retreat and a little bit of a turning away. So I want to take a moment to love that. Like, yeah, I understand. That's a kind of appreciation. I'm giving myself that, whoa. Like I've had people like, go ahead, go back under you, make yourself a fort. Go into your fort. Have things in your fort that you really love, music that you really love, textures that you really love. Go into your fort and pull the covers over your head and then come back out. And that coming back out again, I'd love for it to be with wonder. So now, take the posture of the new story. So for me, one of them, we have this suggestion of turning toward. So, and opening your posture. And basically, a new story could be, I'm going to let myself do fear melters until I feel a shift in my own presence. That's my new story right now. So what's the posture of your new story? It's not as if you're not going to go into your old story again. You might do it in the next 2 minutes, but you can shift then into your new story. So sometimes, like I'm just thinking of teeth again. I know there's a reason I'm thinking of teeth, and it's going to come, I'm sure, probably later today. But if your teeth are not working, really nothing else in your body works well. And so when I had my teeth fixed, I went all the way to Spain. I was gone for 2 weeks. I had lots of recovery, but I got my teeth in a state of wholeness. that could then permeate through my body. And I know actually that doing that saved my life, because one of my teeth had decayed enough that the infection had gone into my brain. So your moves to care for yourself allow you to be in that loving state of wholeness that then can ripple out. So caring for yourself now, I think, is really, really primary, but not caring for yourself by retreating, caring for yourself by meeting the fear melters and then making a shift that allows you to go, peekaboo, with like, can I come out yet? Whoops, no, not yet. But you're letting yourself have that oscillation between, okay, I need lots of rest, really, really important now, and also being around people who love and appreciate you. So I recognize many people on the call here, and there may be some new people, and if you haven't been here before, welcome. So happy to have you here. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this is that we can go, here I am with people who love me and who care about me and who are interested in me. And I'm safe to let myself feel whatever I'm feeling. So before we end today, I just want to say to Dawn, my condolences, love. Just so, you lost your beloved a few days ago. So, so big love scoops to you. And, as you're being in your grief, and there's a lot of grief right now. And in the midst of all of that, fear melters, breathing, and making that next shift. So, big times. So we're on the ride, and one of our friends, when you're riding the rapids, stay in the raft. So this is a raft that I'm so delighted that we've created together, and you can draw on the energy of all of us, anytime. So take a moment. Just one of the best ways I know of loving myself is just kiss your wrists until you go, oh yeah, I can feel myself loving myself. Mwah, mwah. So please stay and share as long as you like, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Also, you can come on to Mighty Networks, to our community, and if you want some attention, you just would like to have somebody just be with you, please come to Mighty Networks, and let's all support each other through crazy times. All right, so much love to you. Mwah. Until next time.